A businessman checked into a luxury hotel in Las Vegas, exhausted from his long flight. The room was modern and spotless, but the mirror caught his eye. It was tall, framed in black marble, and slightly old compared to the rest of the decor. He laughed to himself when he noticed his reflection seemed to move just a little slower than him. Like a cheap funhouse trick, he lifted his hand, and the reflection followed. 2 seconds later, shrugging it off as jet lag, he unpacked, showered, and changed. But while brushing his teeth, he caught the reflection smirking faintly, though his own lips stayed still. His hand froze, toothpaste dripping into the sink. The reflection was smiling at him. That night he tossed and turned, shadows from neon lights slipping through the blinds. He woke suddenly at 3:12 a.m. and looked toward the mirror. His reflection was standing, even though he lay flat on the bed. The figure tilted its head slowly, unnaturally. He whispered, "No, I'm dreaming." The reflection raised a finger to its lips, as if shushing him. In the morning, he felt drained, eyes bloodshot. He swore he hadn't gotten up once, but the rug in front of the mirror showed fresh footprints. He tried to call the front desk, but the phone line only gave static. On the glass of the mirror, faint breath marks spelled, "Stay." That evening, he decided to test it. He stared into the mirror for a full minute. His reflection blinked out of sync. Then, it laughed. A deep, quiet laugh that didn't match the silence in the room. He stumbled back, heart pounding. He grabbed his bag, desperate to leave. But when he turned to the door, the reflection was gone. The mirror showed only the empty room. Shaking, he looked behind him. Nothing. Then, slowly, in the corner of the glass, the reflection stepped back into view. Except now, it wasn't copying him. It was walking toward him. The lights flickered, the air grew cold, and his chest tightened. He clawed at the door, but the handle wouldn't move. The reflection reached the inside of the glass and pressed its hands against it. Cracks spread across the surface, as if it were pushing its way out. He screamed for help, but the wall swallowed his voice. The glass shattered with a soundless crash, shards raining down. The reflection stepped forward, dusting itself off, identical to him, but with a wicked grin. The man backed away, but his legs locked. The doppelganger leaned close and whispered, "Your turn." With one shove, the businessman fell backward, crashing into the mirror's black void. Silence. The next morning, housekeeping entered. The room was neat, bed made, luggage gone. The mirror stood spotless, and inside the glass, just for a second, if anyone looked carefully, they'd see the businessman pounding desperately, his mouth open in a silent scream, forever trapped on the wrong side. A family was driving through the long, empty highways of Texas late at night. The road stretched endlessly, nothing but desert on either side. After hours, they spotted a dimly lit rest stop and pulled over. The father yawned, stretching, while the mother guided their little girl toward the restroom. That's when the girl saw it. A porcelain doll, sitting perfectly upright on a cracked bench under the buzzing fluorescent light. Its glassy blue eyes stared straight ahead, and a faded dress hung stiffly from its small body. "Can I take it?" she asked, her small fingers already reaching out. Her mother hesitated. "It's filthy. Someone left it here." But the girl hugged the doll tightly, smiling. Against her better judgment, the mother sighed. "Fine, just keep it in the back seat." They got back on the highway, the tires humming steadily. The girl sat cradling the doll, whispering to it. The parents exchanged uneasy looks. Hours passed, the desert stretching endlessly. Then the father frowned. He swore he heard a soft laugh from the back seat, high-pitched and childlike. He looked in the rearview mirror. His daughter was asleep, but the doll sat propped against her, lips parted slightly, as if frozen mid-laugh. He shook his head. Fatigue, he thought. But the next day things grew worse. The girl refused to speak. She pointed only at the doll, as though letting it answer for her. At breakfast, the mother asked, "Honey, are you okay?" The girl tilted her head, and from the doll's stiff little mouth came a faint giggle. That night they stopped at another motel. The parents tried to take the doll away, but their daughter screamed, clawing, begging not to. Finally, when she slept, the father quietly lifted the doll and set it outside. He locked the door, heart pounding. At 3 a.m., the mother woke to a scratching sound at the door. Tap, tap, tap. Then a small child's voice whispered, "Let me in. It's cold." The father jumped up, opened the curtain, and froze. The doll was standing upright in the parking lot, staring directly at their window. By dawn, their daughter was gone. The bedsheets were cold, the window slightly open. On the pillow lay the porcelain doll, smiling wider than before. The mother picked it up, trembling, and realized the doll's eyes had changed. They were no longer glassy blue. They were hazel, the same color as her daughter's. They screamed, but the desert swallowed their cries. No one ever saw the girl again. Only travelers passing that rest stop at night still whisper of a little doll sitting on the bench, always waiting for someone new to pick it up. The desert stretched forever. Nothing but miles of rock, sand, and silence. Out there, beyond the nearest town, a tower rose like a black spear into the night sky. Locals called it the Black Ridge Radio Tower. It had been decommissioned decades ago, but they said strange signals still pulsed through its steel bones. 2 college students, thrill seekers with a live stream channel, drove out to climb it. Their followers begged them not to, but the promise of views and adrenaline was stronger than fear. They parked at the base just after midnight. The air was still, heavy with the smell of dust and iron. The tower loomed above them, higher than they'd imagined, its top vanishing into the stars. "Are you ready?" one whispered, aiming the camera upward. His partner laughed nervously, ready to go viral. The live stream counter ticked upward as viewers tuned in. They began to climb. The steel ladder rattled under their weight, every step echoing into the desert void. Below, the ground shrank into a blur. The higher they went, the lonelier it felt, as if the rest of the world had been left behind. Halfway up, their phones buzzed. The chat went wild. "We hear voices." "Do you hear it?" The boys paused. Through the static of their radios came faint whispers, not words exactly, but tones that almost shaped themselves into language. Then, clear as day, a voice broke through. "Don't go higher." They stared at each other. "Who said that?" one asked, breathless. No one answered. The desert below was empty. They climbed further. Their arms shook, knuckles white on the rails. Wind cut across the steel, whistling like a scream. Their live stream glitched, images breaking, frames freezing. When the video cleared, the chat exploded. "There are 3 of you." The boys turned, but the ladder was empty. Only the 2 of them clung to the tower, yet shadows moved across the steel, climbing just below. The static grew louder, turning into a chorus of their own voices, crying, laughing, begging. Go down. Don't leave me. It hurts. The words came from the radios, from their phones, from the metal itself. One boy looked down and froze. The desert was gone. Where sand had stretched for miles, there was now a black ocean, endless and shifting. The surface rippled like something massive moved beneath. The tower no longer touched earth. It rose from that dark sea, standing on nothing. He gasped. Do you see it? His friend shook his head. See what? But then he looked down too, and screamed. The voices grew louder, drowning their thoughts. The steel shook violently, as though something enormous brushed against it. The live stream flickered, faces stretching across the pixels. Faces of people no one recognized, staring directly into the camera. The climbers clung tight, panic taking over. One tried to descend, but his hands slipped, his body vanishing into the void. Yet no splash came, no fall, just silence. The last boy, trembling, pressed himself against the cold ladder, whispering into his mic, "If anyone's watching, don't ever come here. It's not a tower, it's a bridge." His eyes widened as he looked above. The tower's top wasn't just vanishing into the stars. It connected to something vast, pulsing faintly in the sky. The feed went black. Weeks later, rescuers searched. The desert was empty. The tower stood silent. But when technicians tested old radio bands, they found something strange. Two voices whispering endlessly on a dead frequency. Sometimes crying, sometimes laughing, sometimes begging, "Don't climb, don't climb, don't climb." And if you drive out there on a still night and tune your radio just right, you'll hear them. The Black Ridge Tower never stopped transmitting. It just changed who was doing the broadcasting.